Hello, hello. Welcome back to Coffee and Scream. I am Jess, and with me as always is Piper.
Hello.
And Chris.
What's going on?
How's everybody doing?
I'm all right. You?
Good, good. It's nice to be back recording. We took 2 weeks off.
Yes.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great. You guys, I was telling you guys the other day, figured I'd bring it up now. Mm-hmm. I watched a Ted Bundy documentary.
I am so proud of you.
And
Yes.
Like, not like, I just, like, we're rubbing off on you. And
yeah, like, I almost, like, when I saw it, I was like, ew, you know, it's Ted. But then I started thinking of the podcast, and it had been, like, a week and a half, 2 weeks
You missed us.
I honestly did. So, and out of respect, and I, you know, took interest in it, and it was insane. And it was also cool because it wasn't so much about, like, the details of the crimes themselves.
Right.
It was more so the trials and
Yeah.
his escapes and, like, the tracking down of him. And I thought that was actually, like, a really interesting angle that
They talk about like, how he escaped prison and all that.
Yeah, exactly. How he lost
And
weight.
he was like hiding in that cabin.
The cabin, yep.
He like jumped out that courthouse window and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I saw my opportunity and I just jumped.
Yeah.
And think about that. You want to get away so bad, you're going to throw yourself through a fucking, was it 2-story window?
Yeah, and he broke his leg too.
Yeah. Wait, was he talking about, were they talking about Ted Bundy in the My Chem song? Or when you broke your foot from jumping because you're Ted Bundy, yeah.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't listened to him in a while.
I haven't listened to
Yeah, he,
MCR in a hot moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I have like a whole list of like documentaries and docuseries for you if you ever are interested. If you're ever bored, you know.
With him specifically?
No, not just him.
Oh, well, you were telling me about the Richard Ramirez stuff. You were talking about the mob justice stuff. You were talking about?
It was like there's like a little. It's like a 3 or 4 part docuseries on Netflix. It's called like. It's like Catching the Night Stalker or something like, I don't know. I have my phone right here. I'm not going to look though.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's on Netflix. It's so good. And it's told by the detectives that solve the crime. Like, they go through like, you know.
The one guy was talking about like how like they analyzed the footprints in the dirt and everything.
Well, the footprints and like they like, he would eat stuff and like throw the wrappers everywhere. Like, well, all he eats is junk food.
Really?
And like all this
hence
stuff.
the teeth, right?
Yeah, because like, if anyone survived him, like all they would say is like he had the worst smelling breath ever. Like his breath smelled like death.
Yeah.
Smelled like murder.
So one of the things that they did is they somehow found a dentist that he went to because they're like, well, he's staying at this hotel probably, or whatever. Like they kind of honed in on where he was, and they wanted to, you know, catch him, you know.
Well, wasn't the hotel he stayed at like
the Cecil Hotel?
the Cecil Hotel, like, which is like notoriously haunted, like Elisa Lamb, like all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's there too?
Yes, that's
that
where
the water
she.
tank?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was he stayed there.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But they somehow found that he was going to be at this dentist or whatever, so they actually sent 2 officers in there, like in plain clothes, to try to wait it out and see if he was going to come back. And they talked to the dentist, and the dentist is like, "Hey, look, he has a tooth that's going to really, really start hurting him in a few days, if that. So he'll be here for me to fix it. I hope you're here at the same time, whatever." And they just missed him. He was able to go and get dental work and all this stuff. I don't know. It was like the 70s.
Did they stall? Like they try to stall him?
I don't remember. I haven't watched it since it first came out. But it's a really, really good one. And when they finally do catch him, it is so satisfying because like he was out of town when like his mugshot was released to the public and it was in the newspaper and all that stuff. Like, you know, we got the Night Stalker. We know who he is. Like they just had to arrest him. And he's on a bus on his, you know, he just gets or he's coming back from, I think he was in Arizona or something. And he gets back to California. And he's sitting on a bus and he is like looking around, you know, at the people on the bus. And this lady was reading the newspaper and she looks down at it and she looks up, makes eye contact with him. And like, he knows like he's caught. He's like, shit. So he gets off the bus. He tries to like commandeer a couple cars. People are starting to catch on that like it's him. And the entire town chases him through a neighborhood, and like one of the guys gets a hold of him, starts beating him down and all this stuff. And a cop, like when the cops finally got there, they had to get him out of there for his own safety because they were going to beat him to death.
And wasn't like one of the people that like made the biggest like alert, like that kid like coming out of his house and everything? He was like, holy fucking shit, like that's him, like, and he woke up his entire family.
I don't remember.
What, did he try to break into their house and he witnessed it?
No, he was just like going like down the street trying to rip people out of their cars and like fighting them off and like it's.
Did someone give him the Huckleberry?
I hope so.
Yeah. You know. Did he ever break that bat in that movie?
They gave him like the walls of Jericho.
The walls of Jericho. No, but did he break Huckleberry in the movie? Or no? Did he break it over Michael?
I don't know.
Oh. All right. I was just curious because I saw it once.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
The Halloween Kills. Wasn't Huckleberry?
Was
the baseball bat.
The fucking bat?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I was saying how it's like the same thing with mob justice. It's like they also tried to track Michael down.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But he wasn't getting up and slaughtering all of them.
No.
Like they had to get him out.
No.
But yeah, so anywho, I'm glad you
It was really interesting. And like the trial, like I
Showing an
said,
interest.
the trial and the fallout with his defense lawyers and all that stuff. And, you know, just listening to him talk and trying to be overly eager with the press. Just like, it's just,
he was
you
very
could smell
theatrical
it from him.
also.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like the teeth mark, like
Yeah.
evidence and all that stuff,
Well,
which they're
that's-
trying to say is junk science now.
Yeah.
They're trying to say like that, you know, teeth marks or handwriting analysis or even blood splatter or even hair, like all of that is like junk science.
Yeah,
so
it's
they
like
call it now.
botched.
Is it though?
I don't think it is.
Is it just
but
speculated
They're trying
upon?
they're trying to say like it's not super definitive.
Yeah, but that, like, how are like two? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but how are two different people going to have the same size teeth, the same straightness, the same
like,
location,
bite pattern.
position,
Yeah.
bite
Yeah.
strength? It
because
seems
he had
like
a
dog
chipped.
shit to me.
He also had a chipped front tooth, and that was evident on
So do I.
Yeah.
on that girl's.
I got a little one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the like handwriting and everything, like I feel like that's still like valid because I've never seen someone with like similar handwriting to anyone else's. Like it's very like
you haven't seen
unique.
me and my mother's handwriting.
But there's also forgery. I mean, who's going to forge like a bite pattern?
True.
But I have the same handwriting as my mother. Like she's gotten in my car, and I had a grocery list written out because I still like to write things out. And she's like, "When did I write?" I'm like, "She thought it fell out of her purse." I go, "Oh no, that's mine." Like it's crazy.
Can you imagine if everyone had the same handwriting? Like that'd be so weird.
I have like weird handwriting. Like I write my lowercase a's like a computer types it out. Like I have the little like upside down U at the top and everything. Like
I also feel like you didn't always write it like that.
I no, it was definitely something I learned. Like I wrote it like the normal way.
Every girl,
first.
I feel like, goes through that period
And
where they
then-
wait their A's like that.
They just
I-
start
and then-
decorating.
And
Yeah,
then
they decorate their...
I started writing my A's like that, and now it's just like a standard like practice in my handwriting. It's like a weird quirk, and then like I also like do the dramatic little loop in my L's, like capital L's. Like I
like,
do like
almost
the
like
cursive
cursive?
L
Yeah, like
sometimes,
cursive.
and then I do like the Y, with the loop at the lowercase one,
Yeah.
and then like it's just my handwriting is so weird.
A lot of mine, like, it depends on how I'm writing. If I'm writing for me, a lot of my letters are just like I barely pick the pencil up or the pen, but you know. And then other times it looks. I like the Comic Sans psychotic ransom.
I put dashes through my sevens, like they look like a little hangman thing.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
But enough. Yeah. Well, this is the text podcast now. By the way, we're just talking strictly
All about
handwriting.
fonts.
You guys
Oh,
want to
yeah.
do some typography?
My
You guys wanna-
favorite font face is Comic Sans, because when I write my crime fiction novels, writing in Comic Sans actually helps with writer's block.
Why is that?
How do you-
Is it psychological?
Yeah, it's like a psychological thing.
Like when you type it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't bother me nearly as much as it bothers some people.
because it'll be like, because it's like a font that isn't so like distracting. So you're not thinking of how like it looks.
That font takes
so
me
you're
back
like,
to
It's
the
like loose. Yeah, it's
like
like
the
loose,
early
yeah.
2000s and like AOL Instant Messenger. Like,
which is really funny because
put my
like,
away message on.
but it's honestly kind of comical looking at my drafts though, because it's like the most grueling, like gut wrenching crime scene described in Comic Sans.
Yeah, like the fucking.
It's kinda comical.
contrast.
Oh my god. So
enough. Yeah, enough of this.
Yeah. So you watched that. Did you watch anything good?
Well, I was telling you guys about it earlier. The show that just got added on Netflix, it has Meghan Markle in it. Suits.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
watch that.
It's so funny. It's
Meghan
so
Markle.
funny. Meghan
She can't
Markle.
stand suits. She can't stand them. Was there anyone besides Patrick Bateman that killed people in a suit? Like, was that ever like a death? You know how certain characters
Every
have like their
Batman
suits?
villain ever.
No, I mean in real life. in real life. Like, was there anyone that got fancy dressed up with like a monocle just to kill people?
Well, H.H. Holmes.
I guess
that was the style then.
But that was just how
that was like
then.
was like standard attire. The little bowler hat. And I heard, wasn't there a movie that was supposed to be made that was like Leo DiCaprio was H.H. Holmes?
Yeah.
Devil in the White City.
Did it ever come out?
Well,
Did they ever make it? No?
I actually read the book, and that was like one of the most phenomenal reads like I've ever read. Like,
I watched the
very
documentary and it explained like that house he had.
Yeah, the
Or was
murder.
it was
the
a
murder
hotel
castle.
or-
Hotel, that's what it was,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's. Did you ever? You've seen American Horror Story, right?
The first season, most of the first season, I don't.
You never watched Hotel because that was
No.
based on.
Yeah,
I've seen Bates Motel. I almost said Boats Motel.
because James Patrick March, who's played by Evan Peters in American Horror Story, is based off of H.H. Holmes.
His character?
Yes.
Even though he's like a young ghost?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, because I've never really seen. Like, I don't remember much.
And then the first season, Murder House, Tate Langdon is based off of the Columbine shooters.
Really? The show, the entire season?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
'cause-
just his character.
Yeah.
Oh, his character in general. Okay, I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, he looks like he likes Marilyn Manson.
Well, he
kidding.
wears
Love you, Marilyn.
the skull makeup to school and everything. Like,
Okay. We're gonna cruise on past
Yeah, yeah, enough of
Columbine.
this.
We're not
Well, we
gonna-
haven't met together in like 2 weeks and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're just.
So I've been rewatching all the Scream movies. Thanks for asking.
Really?
ooh.
Oh yeah. By the way, Jess.
Yes. What have you watched?
But
So
not
for
in
the best.
order because I'm fun.
You like to shuffle them.
I was like, I don't think I've seen 4 as many times as the other one, so I rewatched that like 2 nights ago. I restarted 2 today. Let's see. I watched Trick or Treat.
Oh, that's good. Was that you've seen it before?
I've seen
though,
it
right?
before, but I love it so much.
Yeah,
It's like
Anna Paquin, right?
it's like a comfort movie almost. So let's see. I actually did have a birthday before, in between our time getting together. So that night I made my children watch Barbarian with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love some of the shots in that movie. Like
Yeah.
Justin Long holding the gun in the flashlight. It looks beautiful. I don't know what camera they used. Yeah, Yeah, that movie's
She
fucking-
wants you to be her baby. Like, no, no.
I'm a sucker for like just mysteries, especially in movies like that. Like I want to know what the fuck.
I liked it. I know some mixed reviews, but I liked
wonder
it.
why that is. Like
I don't know. You were like, yeah, and I recommended it to some people, and they're like, yeah, well, like, okay, it's just like you're joyless. That's
But,
fine.
well, no, but sometimes like the mystery is better than what you give me because it's like when you allow me to kind of concoct my own like secret or like the secret that is in the movie. When you finally give me like what it really is, sometimes I almost like fucked myself over in my head because I got so excited and I was like trying to be as creative as possible and like what could this be? And then it turns out it's not super simple, but it's simple enough.
Like it's like not as exciting as you thought it was gonna be.
No, it was exciting. It's just I let my mind wander for some mysteries, and it's just when I see what's actually going on, I'm kind of like, oh, I wish it was like fucking this.
I can't even hear myself.
Alien
in
frogs
these.
with guns. Like I don't know. You can't hear yourself?
I can't hear myself, so I'm not gonna wear them.
Yeah, I don't know why these headphones suck.
All good. It's better without it.
It's good. Now you can show off your bed head.
No,
You
stop.
got headphone hair.
No,
Headphone hair.
my little bun has come undone. I'll fix it. Yeah. So, last 2 weeks, nothing crazy has happened. We missed last week because Chris had somewhere he had to be.
Yeah, and I had a great time, but I also
It doesn't matter.
I was bummed though. Like I said, I was like, okay, no murder today. No.
No, just sword fighting.
Yeah, it was fun though.
I'm sure it
fun.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was sick. They were playing like Disturbed. It was so funny.
It definitely sounds like a place where they would play Disturbed.
And the mead and beers
And
there.
drink mead.
Oh my god! Did I tell you about the hibiscus rose mead I had?
You did.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I don't think I've ever had hibiscus like in a drink, but it sounds nice.
Bitter. It's like a bitter kind of.
Sounds nice.
I haven't
It's usually in teas.
Yeah, and like teas. So
Forgot
good.
I had my coffee. I'm gonna drink it. I'm drinking a. Ooh, I just
Give 'em-
talked
give-
into the straw.
Give them a
I'm
nice
so sorry.
shake so they know it's real.
No, the shit's melted. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
I'm sorry. It's just cold coffee now. It's
cold.
fine.
I drink my iced coffee so fast, and it's like a large from Dunkin' Donuts, so that's why I have an upset stomach every single day of my life.
I said I'd be on the toilet.
What would they do
I
if you
drink
asked
it
for iced
so
coffee
fast.
with no ice?
They would probably shoot you in the leg.
Should just fucking shoot.
I asked for a large instead of a venti at Starbucks, and they took me out back and shot me.
That's bad. I have, let's see, I have a, well, not iced anymore, but a caramel macchiato. I got a lemon lime seltzer water, a giant can of ginger ale, because that's my favorite soda, and a vodka soda, or vodka and lemon lime seltzer. So I have a lot of drinks.
You guys should see it. It looks like Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, yeah.
But just all beverages
it's like,
and
yes.
2 different flavors of pretzels.
It's so many drinks. I love it.
I
have 3 right now.
The Last Supper needs to move over. It's the last beverage now.
Yeah, get real.
We thirsty.
I got cotton mouth.
Well, you came to the right place.
I did.
Because I provide the coffee for us every episode. I got a large iced coffee with a caramel and cream and sugar.
Not a sponsor.
You should.
No.
We're sponsored by coffee.
Have you ever had
in
this?
general?
Yes, we are.
Have you ever had the macchiato?
I have.
I really like it. It's so good. It is really good because it's made with espresso.
And it's 2
I just
ingredients.
like coffee because
It's just-
I'm a simple bitch.
But it's like literally just 2 ingredients, right? Just espresso and whatever cream. With like
It's
steamed
like
cream.
espresso and milk, and I got a little pump of caramel. I guess they put in there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. Espresso is underrated. It really is.
It's really good.
Especially after a couple beers, having a nice
No, but
shot
I
of
just
espresso.
I like the flavor. It's like a stronger flavor. That's why I like it a lot.
I heard you like to drink civet coffee.
I like to drink what?
Civet coffee?
What's that?
Did I tell you about what that is?
No.
All right, well, if you don't want this in, we can cut it out. But it's pretty much coffee that is ingested by some kind of like weird animal. It's like a cat, like a jungle monkey cat.
Interesting.
And they eat the coffee beans, and then they let's say they let it go.
They shit it out.
And then they dry it, and then they make coffee from it. And
That's disgusting.
It's expensive. It's really expensive. I don't know.
I would never.
I feel like
That
that's
is crazy to
I feel
me.
like that's rich people, like
but
caviar, exotic.
Yeah,
like
it is definitely.
Yeah, but you're a fan of like the fun mushrooms, and those are in cow poop, aren't they?
Well, they don't. It's not. You're not eating the cow poop. I mean, most
kinda are, though.
No, I mean, well, most of the time anyway, you're gonna eat them. They're probably gonna be indoor grown. They're probably gonna be on like hay or straw or brown rice flour, wild bird seed.
They're more
not,
man-made than.
Yeah, it's cleaner. It's not gonna. No one really grows them on shit. Now, if you have like a lot of shit and you're working with those kinds of mushrooms, whether it's like your land or your farm or just at your house,
Yeah.
you know, after enough time of releasing spores or them just being in your skin and your hair, when you go outside in the wind, you might eventually get shit. You know, or shit as in mushrooms, not as in poop. It's already there. It's already been made. But yeah.
Oh, so silly.
But
But this week, we're gonna do something a tiny bit different. It's still true crime, but it's gonna be stories about survivors. Because
So
you
a
know
little
sometimes it's fun to hear someone win.
yes.
it's like directly from the person, the survivor, and
Well, mine
also,
is from the person's mouth, basically.
Mine
their
is
story.
mine is more of like a news report telling, but I have a lot of like information about her life and
Nice.
everything.
Well, is there any like testimony from the people that like were involved?
Not directly, but she'll say that it was.
Because some people survive, and I'm sure they just don't even want to talk about it. Like they just want to let it go and just get the fuck on with their life.
Because the girl I chose for my story has a book written on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Piper. Well, take it away.
Okay, so looks like I'm going first. So I chose for my case Katie Beers.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do not know this one, so I'm actually excited.
So firstly, I'd like to just get a little trigger warning out of the way. The story I will be telling today discusses themes of child abuse in all forms. So if that is a topic that upsets you, please tread with caution on this segment or skip this segment altogether. Chris, can you like put a timestamp maybe in the description?
Well, they'll know
Or
if
something.
they
Yeah.
hear that if they hear that part, then they should know.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
So Catherine, or Katie Beers, was born on December 30th, 1982. She lived with her mother, Marilyn Beers, and her older half-brother, John Beers, in Long Island, New York. Katie's biological father has never been identified, as her conception was a result of a one-night stand. From a young age, though, Katie also lived with her godmother, Linda, and Linda's husband, Salvatore, whom is nicknamed Sal. Marilyn was a neglectful mother who often left Katie and John in the care of Linda and Salvatore, and Katie and John would endure abuse from Salvatore as a result. This abuse was physical, emotional, verbal, and most unfortunately, sexual.
Oh, God.
Because of this abusive environment, a family friend by the name of John Esposito was a prominent figure in the Beers' lives, and Esposito would often shower Katie and brother John with gifts and attention. Esposito was a predator, and he sexually abused John Beers until Beers became too old for him. In 1978...
He turned 6.
Yeah, basically. In 1978, Esposito escaped jail time for the attempted abduction of a 7-year-old boy from a shopping mall, in which Esposito pleaded guilty to. Despite this, however, the Beers and Linda and Salvatore would be oblivious to the fact. So, on December 28th, 1992, 2 days shy of Katie's 10th birthday, Esposito had offered to take Katie on an early birthday shopping trip. This trip was a lie, however, and instead of a fun-filled day, 43-year-old Esposito took Katie to his house at 1416 Saxon Avenue in Bayshore instead. Bayshore is a middle-class hamlet in Long Island, New York. Esposito was a contractor, and he had built his own apartment over the garage, which sat a few yards away from the main house. He advertised himself as Big Brother, and in posters he'd put up in stores, and boys would spend weekends hanging out with him in his apartment.
This sounds a lot like Albert Fish, Mr. Grandpa.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Nanny 911.
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man. Yeah.
Throwback.
Just like that one story from what, episode 4?
Yeah, there's
Famous episode 4?
Oh, yeah.
Millions of hits and downloads.
Oh, so many.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, carry on.
Carry on.
Okay.
Yeah. Go.
Esposito was mostly left alone and to do whatever he wanted when he and his family still lived together, communicating through the help of intercoms placed throughout the main house. When the LA Times interviewed Esposito's fraternal twin, his twin said, "None of us had ever had a reason to go back there." Despite that claim, Esposito's family had no clue that he was building a tunnel underneath the garage that led to a concrete dungeon. Here, Katie Beers would be held for 17 days.
Holy shit.
I was hoping you weren't going to say years. I was like, please say days. Please say minutes. Say seconds.
When Katie and Esposito arrived at his apartment, she was led to his bedroom, and there, Katie played a video game. During this time, Esposito made sexual advances towards Katie, and she, understandably, turned them down. After this, it was then that Esposito forced Katie into the bunker. The tunnel to the bunker was 6 feet long, and it was concealed by a 200-pound concrete trapdoor. The trapdoor was hidden by a bookshelf, which was removable, in the office of Esposito's apartment. The dungeon was a 6 by 7 foot square space that contained an even smaller coffin-like room that was soundproof and only contained a bed and television. The bunker also had a toilet and a CCTV system set up so that Esposito could watch her. And he set the CCTV footage up specifically for her arrival.
Ew.
And this also sounds a lot like Barbarian. Right? Room with like just a TV.
Yeah.
And a baby bottle. Right?
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
And did he build it himself? Or like he had to have, right? You're not going to contract some people who know about your trapdoor. That is insane though. Like Barbarian, I mean that's not really similar to H.H. Holmes, but like there's something interesting about someone who like, because houses are like sacred. I mean, I guess it's a hotel, but when you have like structures and places that usually are home, and you turn them into like some kind of saw,
like, could
dungeon.
you imagine like any of these houses on the street where we are now? Like, could you like them having a secret fucking dungeon under their house?
So like, no, because
we would never know. We would never know.
You would never know.
I looked up the house on Google Maps, and it's like in a normal fucking suburban neighborhood. Like it's like
it's perfect. Yeah,
like
hide in plain sight.
Like there's a house to the left, there's a house to the right, like there's a house across the fucking street,
like just normal everyday America.
And then, and there's like And, like, the actual house, like, has a U-shaped driveway. There's a van parked out front. Like, it's just, like, it looks normal.
You never
like,
think twice. Like,
exactly.
And that's kind of good cover somewhere.
And that's the scary part about a lot of these stories, because they pass, like, these people, they pass off as so fucking normal.
That's the point. Yeah, that's kind of like the point. Like, hide in plain sight.
Like, everyone was like, oh, Ted Bundy is so awesome. Like, he's like...
Dude, yeah, and there was, like chicks trying to... Give him letters. Give him little letters.
Disgusting. It's disgusting. There are girls now that still wear like T-shirts. It's like Ted Bundy was hot. It's like, what?
Like, wearing a shirt with Elvis's mugshot is way different than wearing a shirt with Ted Bundy's mugshot.
Yeah, I have a T-shirt
thing.
where Elvis's mugshot on it. I love Elvis.
But when it's Elvis put next to someone like Ted Bundy, I would rather someone wear Elvis's mugshot than Ted
I don't
Bundy's.
think Elvis didn't, murder a bunch of young women and all that. Yeah, it's just... Yeah.
Well, he did with his hips.
Ooh.
Marshall Cup. Don't make me sing Blue Christmas. Oh, Blue Christmas. Without who?
I like how he went for Blue Christmas. I got every song.
He goes, oh, and all who. He does that.
I feel like a Jailhouse Rock fits the theme of the podcast a little bit better.
I don't know.
Lock him up, put him in jail.
I have some questions about Jailhouse Rock. Like, I don't like sidebar. It's just like number 47 said to number 3, "You're the cutest jailbird I've ever did see." Is he talking like he's?
I probably
like what normally goes on in jail.
Mountain 2 should have been. It should have been in jail. That'd have been awesome.
Okay.
Oh, look at wait, they already did that. I Love You, Philip Morris. You ever see that?
No.
Oh, it was great. It was Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor.
Okay, back to Katie Beers. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
By the way, I'm very familiar with beers.
Speaking of...
Shut up.
Okay.
All right. This girl went through enough. You don't need to make fun of her last name.
Is it levity or brevity? Is it levity? When you make light of a situation, just to...
I think it is. I think it's levity.
All right, anyway. Esposito had forced Katie to tape a message about her whereabouts, saying that a man with a knife had kidnapped her. This was obviously to provide Esposito with an alibi and free him from any and all guilt. Part of this message implies that it was meant to be sent to her godmother, Linda, who was also her aunt. So a line was specifically taken from the message. "Aunt Linda, a man kidnapped me and has a knife, and oh no, here he comes right now."
Oh no.
Then Esposito went to a Spaceplex in Neconzet and used the payphone outside to play the force message into. A Spaceplex is an arcade in the town. He then feigned panic and told the staff inside that he lost Katie there. The police were called and a search was conducted that led the police nowhere. During her captivity, Esposito would venture down into the bunker to sexually abuse Katie. During these moments, he'd move her to the bigger part of the bunker, but once all was said and done, she'd be sent back to the smaller, coffin-like section of the bunker. Esposito gave Katie blankets, toys, junk food, and soda during his visits to her, and when the television in the bunker became her only connection to the outside world, she could only watch news coverage about her own disappearance.
That's insane. Now, was that the intent of, like, was she just able to get that channel down there?
I feel like that was part of it, because a lot of kidnappers, especially in the Junko Furuta case, which is a very brutal case out of Japan, they literally forced her to call her parents and say, "I ran away, don't come looking for me." And so she spent those 44 days like wondering, like,
this specific woman or this other Japanese one you're talking about?
Junko
the
Furuta.
Japanese
wow,
one.
that's crazy. How many days?
What happened?
Okay. Let's make sure I'm not muted.
No, you're fine. Okay. But that is crazy though. Yeah. Like 44 fucking days.
She spent 44 days knowing that no one was
coming. And this isn't just a normal month and a half of your life. Like, this is you in panic mode.
Probably felt like eternity.
It's insane. I can't imagine.
Because when she fucking died because of the way that they treated her and everything, they put her in a fucking barrel full of cement and later
wait, this 44
out in a field.
So the 44 days she wasn't a survivor?
No.
Oh man.
Junko Furuta died. as a result of her injuries. Katie Beers survived, though.
That's so terrible.
Yeah. So Katie was once able to snatch a key to her restraints. So during the moments of Esposito's absence, she could access the larger part of her cell. She hid this key under her pillow in the cell. And Katie also became so afraid that Esposito would abuse her in her sleep that she forced herself to stay awake, whether it be during the day or night. There was a time where Esposito wanted to photograph Katie with her eyes closed, but Katie refused since she knew that Esposito would use it to get the search closed and called off.
Oh, like a death photo.
Yeah. Like try to be like, oh, she died by LOL. Like.
And how old was this poor woman?
She was kidnapped 2 days shy of her 10th birthday.
Yeah,
so
she was at Planet.
She was 10 years
Pizza,
old.
What was it? Planetplex?
Space
Planet or Space. What is it?
Space Planet.
Spaceplex.
Yes.
It's a space peanut.
Space peanut.
Jesus Christ.
What are you eating? Space peanuts. What is that? Space peanut. What is that?
It's Joe Dirt when he's walking around with that giant frozen. He's like, he thought it was a meteor or whatever. He's like, it's a space peanut. He's like, that's a frozen hunk of shit, from an airplane.
And I love the part where he's like, it's just an old crapper tanker.
He's eating. He's literally he has ketchup on it. He's dipping his fries.
On the side of the road or whatever. I gotta rewatch that movie, man.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Fucking Sonic commercials and crack.
Yeah, those are weird. And the Little Caesars commercials too.
Yeah.
And where's Little Caesars now?
It's gone.
Fucking like that.
I never got to it was there forever, and then it was taken away, and I never went there. So
it's cheap pizza. It's not.
No,
supposed
but
to be
I remember
gourmet.
eating. It's not supposed. It's supposed to be hot and ready.
If you're drunk, it's perfect.
I'm sure it is. But I used to go to Little. I remember when there was a Little Caesars in Kmart or something when I was a kid.
Oh, BJ's had one. I think they had one. I used to get their little personal little pizzas.
But we used to go to Little Caesars when I was a kid and get it. So I had nostalgic memories. I was just I need to go there one day, but it never happened. And now they're gone. And
now you got to drive to Cherry Hill for one, and it's cold.
I will not.
I'm more nostalgic for Domino's and everything.
I love Domino's.
Not sponsors, by the way.
Well, one day we'll get Domino's.
We got to think of a way to not.
They're not sponsored. I would say they are sponsored.
Yeah, this show is sponsored by Domino's.
We're
Eat fresh.
Yes. That's Subway.
What? Yeah, that too. We got 3 sponsors.
Think outside the bun. Domino's.
That's what we were doing these last 2 weeks. We actually went to Hollywood and we had all the corps pitched to us, and we didn't like any of them.
So many, and I'm like, I don't want to be a sellout.
And
I couldn't stop yawning.
All of these cool people.
Yeah. We tried every kind of chicken nugget. None of them flew.
Yeah.
I know, and me and my boyfriend, Bradley Cooper, we were just
Yeah, he was bored too.
He was.
I didn't
bored.
think he was ever. I didn't know that was possible.
I know.
He's Bradley.
Yeah. So anyway, I am so sorry. Please continue.
Eat fresh.
Right, it's okay.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just eat it.
Just eat it.
Wow.
But yeah, back to beers.
Okay, so Katie was told by Esposito that he planned to keep her in the bunker for her whole life, but Katie had other plans. She managed to outsmart Esposito, and she interrogated him with questions asking how the arrangement would have worked out. She was creating doubt in Esposito's mind with questions like, where would I work, and where would I go to school? Mm-hmm. Esposito answered these questions, saying that he was financially well off to support both of them, and he even stated that when Katie turned 18, he planned to marry her and have children with her. Despite this, however, Katie's questioning inevitably worked, and Esposito suddenly became paranoid that the police were soon to catch him. Yeah. Esposito was deemed a primary suspect from the get-go, and this was due to how close he was with Katie and her family and the history of the abuse he put her brother through and everything. Police also inspected the payphone call and deducted that it was in fact pre-recorded since the phone call lacked any background noise.
Interesting.
Witnesses at the Spaceplex arcade also said that Esposito arrived alone on the day that he went there.
Oh. They didn't really have security cameras back then, did they? No.
What year was this again?
Not expensive.
The 90s.
Early 90s?
Oh, this was the 90s. Okay.
Yeah, no, there was definitely not any security cameras, if not really shitty, grainy. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Esposito was under intense police watch, and due to this pressure, he confessed to his crimes on January 13th, 1993 to his attorney. When Esposito led the police to Katie's cell, it marked 17 days of captivity. On June 15th, 1994, Esposito pleaded guilty to the kidnapping and was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. 10 other charges, which were pending and included sexual abuse and the endangerment of a child's life, were dropped due to the plea bargain that Esposito took in court. Esposito carried out his life sentence in Sing Sing Prison in Westchester. For further good news, Salvatore, who was also sexually abusive, served 12 years in prison for his own part in his abuse. In East Hampton, New York, lived Katie's loving new foster family, who allowed her freedom from a life of abuse. Katie was gifted anonymity as well, so she got like a new name and everything.
The victim?
Yeah.
Just wipe it clean, just etch a sketch, just start over.
Just because she was so young, like you kind of have to.
Yeah, that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Katie also wrote a memoir about her life in captivity called Buried Memories, and she became a motivational speaker. She resides in Pennsylvania with her husband and her children now, and she works in insurance. And Esposito, he was found dead in his jail cell due to supposed natural causes on September 4th, 2013. And my sources are the Wikipedia page on the case and the All That's Interesting article.
Oh, that poor baby.
That's great.
I hope she leads like the most boring life now because she deserves it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she needs
like
a
she
lull.
deserves just
like
all the peace, all the quiet, like just. Yeah. Oh my god.
I was gonna ask, was that Esposito's, aside from Salvatore? Mm-hmm. Did he have any other victims? Like, do you think he would have eventually killed, or he just wanted a captive wife?
I feel like he would have reoffended and it would have spiraled. Mm-hmm. He just gives off like
especially
gave off
as
those
Katie
vibes.
grew, like as she became a woman, like he probably would have been like, maybe we need like a little sister wife. Or
That's
something.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Like it's
harem or like some kind of cult shit.
Because he abused her older brother, her older half brother John, and the older brother became too old for him, in his words.
In his own words, yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah, how do you know you're going to like me in 8 years?
Right. Yeah.
Like, seriously.
You know what kind of... I'm sure you did. You've seen Abducted in Plain Sight. Mm-hmm. Like, that kind of, like... How do you look at a child and be like, you're going to be my wife? You're going to be... It's like disgusting.
Have so many different perverted fantasies of, like, just having a child of your own, also having, like a wife to grow... like a fucking tomato. It's like, dude, it's like that's insane.
And also
to me.
like and also like you see a lot of this similar abuse in like crazy cults like Warren Jeffs, like the Keep Sweet Pray and Obey documentary. Like he had like, what was it, like an upwards of 100 wives, and like the youngest one's like probably like 10.
Oh god.
Like
it's rare that you see a cult that isn't stemmed in self-benefit.
Well, that was the Latter-day Saints cult.
Is that a cult? Because I'm familiar with Heaven's Gate in Jonestown. That's about it. And the one in Ghana.
Most parts of Latter-day Saints are like as normal as they can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but there are like extremists, as is every group that make it cult-like and weird, and then it's like, all right, buddy. We're gonna have to get the law involved. It's
why
like,
is it always poison too? Like the mass suicides and stuff are always poison. I wonder if it's like a cost-effective thing, or like
it's probably
because people don't. That's not a common way to kill yourself. But like most people that die from poisons, like,
I guess if you want
like mass fucking suicides, probably.
Well, like it's the really Jonestown thing. Like, first of all, one of my pet peeves, and it's so stupid and doesn't matter, is people are like, well, they drank the Kool-Aid. It's like, it's not. First of all, it was not Kool-Aid.
It was Tang.
It was Flavor Aid.
Really?
Like,
come on. See what I say about cost effective. I literally was like, it's the cheapest fucking way.
The cheapest one. Like, yeah. So and
you're gonna die. You spend all your fucking money. Get something good.
No.
And also,
I just want Flavor Aid. I just gotta.
And also, they probably like don't want any like bloodshed involved, because like,
why not?
It's probably supposed to be like a clean, like smooth, like way out or something,
like respectable, less like
yeah, because like what was it, Heaven's Gate, I think, when the corpses were found and everything in the bunks, they had like the purple sheets over them and everything.
Like the Nike. Was it the Nikes?
It was like the weird. They were all dressed the same. Like it was like
which was
something
interesting.
Applegate, or was it last name Applegate or
Marshall Applegate? I think. Yeah.
That's if we ever do cults, like that's a really
cults are like they're like eerie. They freak me the fuck out. But like, I would love to do an episode.
Yeah,
okay.
Dude. Like, I'm down with that because like the psychology behind it's the most interesting part.
It's just like how do you get wrapped up?
And like, I'm a guy. There's a lot going on for me with looking into people's eyes. And is it the Heaven's Gate guy? He's like talking in front of a green screen. He's like older.
Yes.
He kind of looks like the fuck me or guess I'll die guy almost. Yeah. When I look in his eyes, it's like I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm saying he's like so convinced and sick that it doesn't even seem like he has he doesn't even think that it's wrong. It's so he's so convinced. His conviction is frightening and almost I feel sorry.
Yeah.
Like there's part of me like despite whatever happened, like there's a part of it that when I look into his eyes, it's like sad. It's like sad. You know what I'm saying? People just get obsessed with purpose and they
normally open the cookies before we get started.
And I see
do it. Let's go.
Crack open them cookies.
Crack them open.
I see and like when I watched
sponsored by Entenmann's cookies. I bring them every week.
And when I watched that video too,
Eat fresh is his like fucking tagline for everything.
Like the look in his eyes is like less psychotic but more of like a manic, like more mania like induced, like this is what I'm talking about. Like we're so there, dude.
Well, he's passionate. Like, he was so convinced that he had charisma because like you couldn't tell him otherwise. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we'll save cults for another time.
Yeah,
believe me, I'm sure our listeners are curious as well.
Yes,
because I have
And today's podcast is true crime, yes, and survivor stories.
It's survivor stories.
Yes.
And boy, oh boy, do I have a good one for you. But like Piper's, I'm going to say trigger warning. Mine has themes of sexual assault, rape, and mutilation. It is it's a brutal one.
It is.
It is, but she is badass.
She is? As a survivor?
Yes.
Warning, what you are about to hear will shock you.
The one that I was going to do, like, before I decided, was, like, a little too much. I decided, but...
Maybe next round of survivor stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, once in a while, like, if we know it's going to be a juicy episode, we'll make sure we make it known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine driving to work and being like, Jesus Christ.
Well, like, speaking of Jesus...
Well, my dad listens to them on the way to work.
Yeah, dude.
Hi, Dad. Okay, well, I am doing the story of Mary Vincent. My story starts in Modesto, California on September 29th, 1978. And let's see, a 15-year-old girl named Mary Vincent ran away from home, and she went to California to stay with her grandparents. She, she was normally from Las Vegas, Nevada, but she would butt heads a lot with her family. Her parents were very strict, so she just was like, I'm getting out of here. And after some time away, though, she began to hitchhike her way back to Las Vegas because she was homesick and she missed her family. But like hitchhiking in the 1970s, like you see that all the time. Like it was very commonplace. Like everyone did it. It wasn't,
It's so interesting.
Because there was no like installation of that like pre-existing fear of the dude I'm getting in the car
I'm gonna be murdered.
Killer.
But it was very like, let's get to point A from point A to point B or whatever, and this will be fine.
Yeah, but I'm sure this like don't talk to strangers thing has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
You would think that like the survival instinct would be like never.
Yeah,
be alone with a stranger. You don't know.
Like, I mean, I guess if that's your best way of traveling to where you gotta go with saving money, but you know the rules of the road.
But it's also like just a lot of people in that time, because it was a time of like the hippie culture and like experiencing.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Experiencing like making sure that everyone felt seen and heard and everything.
Benefit of the doubt. See the good.
Like giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, everyone's such a good person. No one could do anything. We're all innocent angels. Kumbaya. But like,
you think that was like a recipe for why there was a pretty? I mean,
most definitely, and that's probably how Charles Manson like thrived.
Yeah, for sure, the attitude.
Yeah.
Go on.
So Mary was standing on the side of the road with a sign saying that she was heading south. And there was actually a couple of people standing right near her waiting, with similar signs. They wanted to go in like the same direction that she was going in. So they were just, waiting for someone to drive by. And when a man in a blue van pulls up, the man's van was completely empty, but he claimed he only had room for just one person.
Ew.
Yeah, Mary was advised not to get into the van by the other two people because it was a major red flag that he only wanted one female to come with him.
Yeah, who says no to one or more than one?
No, but I don't know if there's another guy in the other people, but like the entire back of the van. I'm talking like one of those like worker vans, like a big empty van,
like a van that like is similar to ours for work. Right?
Yeah, just a big van with nothing in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like,
You got plenty of room.
But Mary, like, she was just, she was focused on getting home, and she decided to take the risk, and she got in the van. Oh, God. All right, so buckle up, because shit's about to go south.
Yeah.
It goes bad pretty quickly. Well, the guy, he was, like, in his 50s. He looked like a grandpa. He seemed really nice, and he, but quickly she began to feel uneasy. Mm-hmm. As soon as they started driving, like a little bit down the road, Mary lit a cigarette and like she sneezed, I guess, because like the smoke or whatever got, it just happens.
Yeah.
And he like reached over and he put his hand on the back of her neck and was like, "Oh, are you feeling okay?" And she was like, "Ugh, like don't touch me." Like kind of like leaned away.
Just got in here, bud.
I understand like a "Are you okay?" touch on like the back, but like the back of the neck.
Yeah.
But, like if like only touch them literally if like they're
vomiting.
Yeah.
Something's
like
wrong.
You need to hold your hair or something.
But she like leaned away from him, like kind of like don't touch me.
Like girl code, if you're at a party vomiting, hold the girl's hair back.
yeah. But like he didn't try anything after that, so she was like, "Oh, I guess it's okay." Mm-hmm. She was exhausted. She's been on the road for like a few days, or so she fell asleep. And after she woke up, she noticed that the road signs all indicated that they were heading in the opposite direction than what they were supposed to be going. Mm-hmm. She actually found a stick in the van and, like, held it to him. He's like, "Turn this around right now. We're going in the wrong direction. Like, I don't know what you're doing." And he's like, "Oh, no, I'm sorry. Like, oh, it's just an innocent mistake. I'm so sorry." God.
Innocent mistake from my ass.
Yeah, gaslighting.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. So he's like, "Oh, I'll just turn it around. It's fine." So like, but he pulls into like this deserted road and he said he had to pee. He gets out of the van and Mary, after just being kind of unsettled by the fact that they were going in the wrong direction, she's like, he definitely knew we were going, like something was wrong. She noticed that her shoelace was untied. Mm-hmm. So she's like, if I have to make a run for it, I need my shoes, to be tied. Mm-hmm. Like he's older than I am. I can take him.
100%.
I can go.
Oh yeah.
So she bends down to tie her shoe, and before she knows what's going on, she's hit in the back of the head with a sledgehammer. Yeah,
Jesus.
She falls down. She blacks out, and when she wakes up, she's in the back of the van. She's all tied up, and she's naked. Uh-huh. And let's see, she she tried to get away. She can't, obviously, her bindings. Mm-hmm. But it's at this time that he begins to rape her repeatedly from, like, the rest of the day on until, like, the next morning. And she said it was, like, around, like it was, like, 7 or 8 times. Like, he did that.
That's disgusting.
Yes. Like, he fell asleep and she, like, she wanted to go. Like, she wanted to run away. She can't. She's, So he gets, as he wakes up, he pulls her to, her feet outside the van, and he goes, like, and the whole time, like, he was, like, raping her and all stuff, she was going, "Please just set me free. Please just set me free, and I will not tell you anything, or I will not tell anyone anything. I'm not going to say what happened to me. Like, I'm not going to tell." Mm-hmm. So, like, he wakes up from his nap, pulls her to her feet, and he leans into her, and he grabs her, let me see here. I want to get it right.
I can't imagine the thought process.
Yeah.
Especially if, like, a woman, man.
Yeah, like, so, like, it's disgusting. He reached into his toolbox, and he pulled out a hatchet, and he held onto her left arm, and he said, "You want to be free? I'll set you free." And with, like, one big swing, he got her left arm. And she said, like, she's like, I was falling backwards, but like I couldn't understand why because I was grabbing onto him. And as she's falling backwards, she could see that her arm is still clutched onto him. Like so she gets onto the ground and she's, freaking out. Like blood's going everywhere. She's like in extreme pain, obviously. And he gets like, he stands over her and she's trying to kick him away and fight him off, and he grabs a hold of her right arm and does the same. And then, so from like the elbow down on both arms, completely gone. It's at this time, like he gets, he drags her, and she's like, I think he thinks I was dead. Like I wasn't really moving. I was just perfectly still. Like I can only imagine, like your body is just probably shut down, just like what the fuck.
Yeah,
like
just red alert.
Yeah, like adrenaline.
Yeah, so he takes her and he throws her off of a 30-foot cliff.
Jesus.
And it's at this time, like, she breaks 4 ribs, and she's just laying there, just like praying to die. Like she's just like,
I'm done.
Yeah. So she breaks her ribs, and like because of like the rapid and like severe blood loss, like her body is like starting to go into shock. Like she's like, I'm cold, I'm tired. She's like, she just wants to go to sleep, but she knows if she goes to sleep, it's over. And she's like, and I cannot let this happen to somebody else. I know he's going to do this to somebody else. So she, with everything she has, she sits up. She actually takes her, I hate to say stumps. It just sounds like a horrible.
Yeah, like
I hate it. It sounds like a horrible thing.
What's left of her arms?
Her severed arms, like her from like and actually sticks them in like the dirt to try to pack them to cap off like the blood. Yeah,
rub some dirt in it.
She's like, literally. It's gonna turn into like mud and like it'll.
Oh, I have heard of this. Just the name wasn't familiar.
Yeah, how like hopefully it's gonna slow down the bleeding and I can it gives me a chance.
Is this Bear Grylls' like daughter?
I swear to God.
So, I wouldn't even have thought of that. I that's crazy.
So with so naked, severely bleeding, and without her arms, she crawled back up the cliff.
And now, is that why he cut her arms off in the first place? Just hoping that she wouldn't be able to get out? Did she die down there?
I don't know. I don't know why he did that.
And she didn't find anyone else in that same location, like or he probably was just all over, just dumping people. If this wasn't his first occurrence. I don't know. She was crawling up the cliff. It took her a really long time, and she didn't know, like, is he going to be waiting for me up there when I get up there? Yeah. Like, she had no idea. Like, he did drive away. It was nighttime again when she finally made it to the top and onto the road, and she could hear the sound of traffic. So that's like where she followed it to, and she was waiting for cars. And as daylight was approaching, the first car that came along was a red convertible driven by like 2 young guys, and they just kept driving. Like, but she like even said like she couldn't blame them. She's like, it probably looked like a horror movie. She's like, I was dirty and bloody and beaten, and I was missing both of my arms. Like she's like I thought I was gonna die. Like no one's gonna want to help me. Like I'm, but luckily for her, she kept, so she kept going. She kept walking. She's walking in the middle of the road. And the second car that came along was a couple on their honeymoon, and they were lost. And they immediately put her in the car, and they raced to a telephone to get the paramedics there. And she was rescued. A rescue helicopter came, and they took her to a hospital, and she made it. She lost half the blood in her body. That is insane. She survived. And the other, whatever was left of her blood, was severely poisoned from just infection, shit. Everything. Yeah. But she wanted to live. Like she was a fighter.
Like what is it? Like you can lose like 7 gallons of your blood before you die.
I don't know. That sounds like a lot. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much blood. I wish I had 7 gallons of blood. Yeah. It'd be fucking insane. Yeah. So 10 days after she arrived at the hospital, police identified her attacker and arrested him. His name was Lawrence Singleton, and he was 50 years old.
No wonder he's single.
Yeah. Yeah, his name's Larry.
Yeah. If your name is Larry and you're listening to this,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you're hot.
Bye. Yeah. Hot Larry's only.
Hot Larry's.
Yeah, hot Larry's.
There's. Oh my God! Stop it. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh brother, this guy stinks.
So now, Go on.
No, go.
I was gonna ask, like, do we know if this guy is a repeat offender? Is there anyone else that perhaps survived?
Nothing. Well, I'll get to other stuff, but like nothing thus far. Like he was like estranged from like his children and all this stuff. I don't know. Like he was like they say he was like an alcoholic. Like I don't know if he was, abusive towards him. I assume he was because how do you just go to this? I don't know.
Yeah, this is like, and not to mention like, that was what, the 70s you said? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just saying is information didn't get around as quickly. So it's interesting to see people have such crazy, like radical behaviors with like not a lot of, let's say, internet being like exposed
not a lot of,
to certain cultures and stuff like that.
Not of like societal like ingrained fear.
Yeah, dude. Like that, he must have been spending a little too much time alone and creating fantasies and just getting sick.
Like if that was nowadays, it would have been too much time on Discord and 4chan.
Yeah, too much time playing Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
All right. So, so Lawrence Singleton, he was convicted of rape and attempted murder, and he was only sentenced to 14 years.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, because 14 years was the maximum sentence under California law at the time.
For a non-murder?
I would have fucking rioted. Like, this man cut off both of my arms.
Yeah.
But after he finished testifying, Mary was in the courtroom. She took the stand and all this stuff. And as she walked past him, she was only inches away from him. He said, "If it's the last thing I do, I will finish the job." Like,
that's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, luckily he never came after her. Like he was in prison, but like she, like how, you can't shake that off. Like,
yeah, that's like, and not to mention like, good luck sleeping.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
I know. Well, time.
Like, how do you know he didn't break out and he's like on the hunt for you?
Yeah, but even just like I said, 14-year maximum. Like that's not a lot of time. Mm-hmm. That's enough, but it's not a lot.
It's
not enough. But it's
like
enough.
Nothing.
It's like a slap on the wrist for what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So time went by, and Mary, she got married, and then she had 2 children. I think she had 2 sons. Her attacker, Lawrence Singleton, was let out on parole in 1987. Mm-hmm. And his words to her in the courtroom about hunting her down continually, like, haunted her. Like, I'm sure, like, I'm sure it was just awful. And 10 years later, in 1997, Singleton murdered a woman in Florida, and he was sentenced to death. And I think that when I read about him, like a long time ago, I'm pretty sure when the cops got there, like the woman was like freshly murdered and like on his couch. Like it was pretty much like red-handed, like you're done.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's fucked. Let's see here. And he was sentenced to death for that. And Mary also volunteered to testify against him at that trial. Mm-hmm. He ended up dying of cancer before his death sentence could be carried out. And today, Mary is a victim's advocate and an artist. Her prosthetics she designed herself, and she was like, I think she would use like parts from other different things and all this stuff. Like she is just a badass woman. And
she sounds very intelligent.
Like
I mean, despite the hitchhiking, it was the times.
It was the times.
I don't blame her.
You can't blame a 15-year-old kid.
I feel like if I sat down and had a conversation with her, like instant best friends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She is very, very, very into like victims' rights and all this stuff. Like she and her artistic medium is chalk, like pastels.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to check her workout.
Yeah, she it's amazing.
Good for her, man.
So that is the story and survival of Mary Vincent, and my sources were an episode of I Survived and Wikipedia.
Oh, I think that's our first would you say video?
Yes, please,
reference?
please. Like it was like I think it was like one of like the first seasons. Like her story, it just blew me away. Like she has like survived against so many like how do you like not only like getting thrown off a fucking cliff, but like you had your arms chopped off beforehand.
Like, that's someone you can't complain in front of.
You managed to get up and climb up the hill. Like, can you imagine when like your husband be like, "Oh, I don't want to take the garbage out." She's like, "Bitch, I got my arms chopped off and I got thrown off a cliff.
Yes.
You can take the garbage out."
She just holds her arms up.
If I were her, I'd use that against my husband all the time. Like
to her kids, like, you know what I went through?
Like, you didn't walk
it's like,
the dog. Well,
I don't wanna. It's like, I don't have no fucking arms. It's like, all right, I'll do it. But that is
puts a lot of shit into perspective. It's like, oh my god, and she's just, she just lives every day and just tries to make the best of it.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad she didn't like turn to crime or drugs or
anything
not at
like
all.
that.
Like that's crazy.
I see that the guest for our next episode has been trying to call me.
That's like,
ooh, we have a guest for next episode.
I think I'm here.
Love this one.
Sorry, that's fine. I think I'm here. Are you here? Yeah, you are.
If he
see
sees
a
a
Riddler?
white Kia Soul, that's me.
No, that's his. No, I'm kidding. We should all get white Kia Souls.
I'm gonna turn.
Yes.
Sponsored by Kia.
I need to start a
Drive
cult.
fresh.
I need to start a cult of white Kia Souls.
Can you fucking imagine a fleet of white
Kia Souls are actually like kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie.
They're just so weird.
But
it's
like I got in
cooler...
hers and I was like, oh, it's actually a lot more spacious than I thought it was gonna be.
And my friend keeps sending me fucking TikToks under the name of Kia Soul Hate Clan. And
is there really a hate clan?
Yeah. And she keeps sending me videos, and it was just like, I don't trust Kia Soul drivers. They're all evil. They're gonna commit mass murder one day.
If I see a Kia Soul, I'm like, that's probably like a hippie ant driving it.
Yeah, like a cat lady or a hippie ant.
Oh,
or
good.
a cat lady hippie ant.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode. Please feel free to, subscribe, leave a really nice review. Means a lot. And don't forget, Tuesday nights on Twitch, Wonder Time Theater, 8 o'clock.
Shouts out. Thank you so much. Twitch.tv/Wonder
Follow us on Instagram at Coffee and Scream Pod.
Yep.
And on Twitter at C Scream Pod. That's C the letter Scream Pod.
And is our YouTube channel still active in case they want to check that out?
Not really.
I will do my best.
We have to work on that, and we will work on that.
All right.
But until next time, guys, lock your doors and stay safe.